Brothers and sisters, generals, welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion. And I salute you if you stand with it and you stand strong within that righteous spirit deep within, which could take levels to go through and get through, like a podcast I did yesterday about the solar plex chakra. Again, one's opinion and theory. In order to get to our higher selves, we have to go through those 7 chakras. And once we do that, we become, let's be, a divine warrior. Now, what is a divine warrior? One who has finally learned, no matter what age or self-awareness, their place in life, their purpose in this world. And we let nothing stop us. We keep love, teaching, realness, authenticity, staying away from toxicity, and being with that great divine has caused so many of us, brothers and sisters, generals and family, to do. Salute is to be the spiritual being that's inside of all of us. And then we keep going, level after level. Levels never run out. And we're going to free flow today. Not going to read any summaries, but one is going to read from my book, as I said I was going to start. And I'm up to 3 pages called Solitude, Strength. And I've said in the past, this is where we get to the core. This is where the real issues lay in our solitude moments, because we know what nobody know us better than we know ourselves, right? So everywhere we go, there we are. So we just keep that in mind, as warriors that we become. But of course, takes steps, takes learning things, some hard lessons, some easy lessons, but we'll always come across a challenge here and there. But again, when one is centered, brother, sister, of course, divine warrior, then we be a powerful force. Again, once we went through the levels and not taking no more shit, and all we see is clarity and good things in life, and just being real as one can and not pretending anymore, then we be a powerful force, like my cousin was. L'Oreal Lyrical, may she rest in peace and empire, was a powerful, real, divinely connected individual. And I exude that energy from her every day. She was a warrior out here in this life. She was street educated, and she was just educated overall. And a lot of things she learned, she taught herself. That's power. You know what I'm saying? And she had her mistakes and challenges, things were pulling on her, things in this life. And another thing I kind of blame is that pandemic shit, but I won't get into that. Because as we all know, when that pandemic came along, threw everybody for a loop. And to be honest, some individuals still haven't bounced back from that. Because that thing there, locking everybody down and keeping everybody in the space, that does something to the mental. And some people still haven't bounced back from that. Real talk. So again, when we're a divine warrior and we see clarity and we're not mixed up in toxicity and pettiness, we see things like this and notice things like this and or analyze, observe all those wonderful things to make us be a powerful force. And it's wonderful. And my brothers, this is really a tribute to my brothers. This is for my brothers. Let's have a spiritual connection to one another. Stop side-eyeing each other. And I'm talking about biological brothers and family, bloodline, or God brothers, just brothers we meet, maybe in the world or online. And as you see on my banner here, and I like artwork, and I used to like to draw, and so this is what got my attention on my banner. And I've showed this before, and it's a representation of 2 brothers having each other's back. Now, if you notice, the brother standing in the front, he's not looking behind him, right? Because he's not worried about what the brother's doing behind him. He's saluting the world. He's saluting that great divine. Now, the brother behind him, if you notice, he's not looking at his back. He's looking at his surroundings. He's looking in a different direction because he's making sure his surroundings is all right. So that's what this is a representation of. A brother that can stand behind another brother and not worried about, and the brother in front don't have to worry about being stabbed in the back. Because I know a lot of that goes on, especially with this social media shit. It just amplifies the hatred in some brothers. And that's why We had, like I do the 7 chakras, and many of us teachers out here, brothers that, want us to unify, at least spiritually, at least we got to get our thoughts right and our mind right and our inner behaviors so we can show that righteous energy through our physical presence, because I like to reiterate, we never know as humans what's going to come down the road, but that divine always knows. So that's why we be careful how we interact, what we say, especially on this social media, because once it's recorded, you can't take it back. You can take it down, but once somebody else get a hold of it, screenshot it, record it, it's always remembered. So that's why we have to get into the core of ourselves, and it's for all brothers. I don't care, high status, low status, young. It's for all brothers, especially those who may have a challenge within. Now, I'm not talking about something one can't control. I'm talking about something I'm not talking about something one can't control, but I'm talking about things we can. You know what I mean? So that's why you hear so many of us, great philosophers as brothers, we have to focus on that core and fix all that shit, whether it's mental, physical, the good old spiritual is a plus. It's not easy getting to a balanced spiritual life. It takes work. Again, I told my son, Lord Lamont, and look for a father-son discussion too. That's today. But like me and him discussed, we can talk that cosmic spiritual shit all day long, but living it and saying it is two different things. So that's why we have to be real with oneself deep within. It'll only better us, and it is better for our physical health, mental health. Everything about the body we do to our body matters, whether it's eating, sleeping, drinking, you name it. Everything matters to the body. And if we focus on that clarity as brothers, we will notice this. Different things we can't do when we get up in age. We still have fun, have a childlike spirit, but we can't do childlike things depending on what it is. If we got what? Family, children, significant other. So like I said, it's what this is a representation of on one's banner. And I like artwork, and I love animation. I love cartoons. I'll be a grown ass man still watching cartoons, but only because of the animation of it. I've always been infatuated with animation. That's why I like that I gave a tribute to Eve, and I spoke on that song she made, Who's That Girl? And that's one of my favorite videos because of the animation in it. I thought it was very unique. And speaking of unique, of course, I have a couple songs for my current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that views, salute. But this is a salute to the brothers. You know what I'm saying? I always do like sometimes a single podcast just on the brothers. And then I have a single podcast where I'll just speak on our warrior sisters. I got many. You look out throughout my channel. I got one where I speak just on one gender or just on the other gender or brother or sister. Today, I'm saluting the brothers, and I'm thanking the brothers in my family, brothers I've met, whether friends in the world or online. Now, I want to say what I was going to say a minute ago, and I still want to kind of speak on the representation what's on one's banner. And I just thought this picture was unique. I didn't draw this, by the way. I don't even remember where I found it, but it says something, and again, see how the brother behind him is not staring at his back. You know what I mean? That says something. He's looking another direction. He's doing that because he's watching his brother's back. He's watching his surroundings and making sure he's straight. And you notice the brother standing in front, not even worried about it. He ain't looking behind him or nothing like that. I know it's a cartoon, it's not real, but just a representation, symbology, brothers, it's a wonderful thing to know we have that trust, even if we haven't seen each other face to face. Just to know we have that spiritual trust is beautiful, because again, I got God brothers I've met, like friends I've grown up with. It's just sometimes we don't understand each other or understand each other sometimes, it takes time. Now I want to go back to why we have to watch our behaviors and take care of ourselves, eat, rest, and all that kind of stuff. And, our impulses and things like that, things we harbor deep within, things I talk about all the time. And I'm going to talk about the 2 songs I'm going to play too, and my book, Solitude Strength. But I'm going to speak on why we have to check our behavior and be careful of our impulses and make sure everything within us, in that core, in that solar plex chakra and the root chakra, and the sacral chakra. That's the battle, brothers and sisters. And I want to say, we can't go through 3 chakras and then stop. And just in one's theory, I think a lot of people stop at that 3rd chakra. They don't continue, just symbolically. You know what I mean? But scientifically, if you really want to know the human body, I'm telling you, study those 7 chakras. You'd be amazed at what we come across. But in order to be amazed and come across creative ideas and solutions, we have to take that step. Explore mind, body, and soul. All right. One can't work without the other. Remember? Yeah, but it's beautiful when we get to the core and fight through those battles and get to that sunshine. Because remember, the solar plexus represents the sun represents the solar plexus because it's the sun. It's yellow. It represents the color, or the color yellow represents the solar plexus. And that's where everything is developed. That's where we become stronger. Like I said, some people stop at that 3rd chakra and they never get any further than that, you know, and it's really think about it and break it down. It's kind of sad because that's where the empowerment is developed, ideas, intelligence, you know, fighting against wrong. We make that's where the decision making, you know, again, this is things I didn't know, you know, it's amazing too. It's a challenging but amazing at the same time. This is where everything's developed, and this is where a lot of people lose. You know what I mean? And it's sad, but also where a lot of people win in that solar plexus chakra. So study the chakras, brothers and sisters. You want to have good clarity. Well, I say, well, my brothers. This for my brothers, but sisters too. But you really want to know your body and be powerful? Study them chakras. I'm telling you, you'd never go wrong, and everything else will follow automatic. The great divine spirit, Mother Nature, things about the universe, just things we never think about, will pop in our subconscious and or psyche or divine spirit. So be a divine warrior and also be a powerful force. You know, put into action and watch the results come. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Now I want to speak on why we have to check our behavior and things we do, and why we be righteous in the present, and the righteous will always come in the future. Now, the reason why we check our behavior, because again, we don't know what's going to happen as humans down the road, but that great divine knows. Now, if we do something wrong do something wrong, period. But I'm just going to give an example. Do something wrong to somebody or say something and they ain't did nothing to you. I'm just speaking in general, nothing specific or nothing like that. Just giving examples. Because I know some people go through these type of things, which I have, many of us have. But it'll come back around. Life is like a full circle. My son and I discussed this. It always come back around, good or bad. So that's the reason we check our behaviors and stay balanced as strong brothers, generals. Salute, you know, my God brothers, you know, and my biological brothers. Real talk. So just want to give a little example. And again, want to give some powerful affirmations to put into our system and keep forging forward as brothers. You know, don't let nothing stop us. We're in the space we're in for a reason. Remember that. So be a divine warrior and continue being a powerful force. Let nothing stop us. I mean it. Salute with every fiber of one's body. Remember, every part of our body matters on this divine walk. So we can be that powerful being that great divine has caused so many of us to be. Talking about sisters too, but this is strictly for the brothers. You know, a little appreciation of brothers I converse with. Again, friends I grew up with. You know, my bloodline, my God brothers, which in the world or online I have never met, but has helped a brother, and that in itself is powerful. If you like met a brother that like heard them speak or something, but never met them, and they still helped you, do we really realize how powerful that is? That's powerful. And to see what's even more great is that we as brothers listen, you know what I'm saying, and really take in, and we share each other's gifts. You know, even if we haven't met each other or really talked to each other face to face, it's still beautiful when we're in that unified spirit divine zone. It's beautiful. Again, salute to the great brothers and warriors out there, you know, that are a powerful force. So be a powerful force. Sisters too, but again, this is a salute to the brothers, God brothers, biological brothers, and in the world, online. All right, now I want to read a page from my book. I don't know how many pages I'm gonna read, because again, we free flowing today. but I did want to read from my book. So that's kind of, it comes from my thoughts. It's not from something I looked up or nothing. It's just something I write when I volunteer. And I did volunteer Thursday. I usually do it on Wednesdays, but I went Thursday because I promised my son I had to be there. If I wouldn't have went, I wouldn't have felt right. So I'm telling you, when you tap into that conscience, it'll antagonize you. When a great divine has a purpose for us brothers, it'll antagonize us. It's like a net. Great divine has something for us. And this, man, it's not that spirit is gonna keep messing with us. It's not gonna leave us alone. Especially those who really mean well in the belly of that soul, because that's where them great thoughts, righteous things, creativity, and things come from the belly of that divine soul. All right, now 2 songs I got. It's true to oneself. It's an affirmation that I want my brothers to say to yourself. Say, I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. Now, I say I in the song, but I really mean that's what I want us to say to ourselves. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. Real talk. So, we got to speak powerful affirmations to ourselves every day. I don't care what we're going through. Let nothing take away love from us. And again, not a stupid love, not a naive love, but just love. You know what I'm saying? Let nothing on the outside of us, person, place, or thing, make us go out of character, be who we are, and don't take no shit from toxic person, place, thing. So we can remain the divine warriors that we have become and continue being a powerful force, a force to be reckoned with, which many of us are. Again, I've connected with some powerful brothers in my family, in the world, and online. We're in the righteous circles. We'll know who the generals are. Salute to my brothers that's doing it out there in the communities, and everything. I salute you. All right, because some people doing powerful things that's not being seen, and that's even more beautiful. So these are pages I write in my book, Solitude Strength. I got 3 pages, and again, I volunteered Thursday, and again, when I'm sitting at my desk, that's when I do my writing. So these are actually my inner thoughts. So I'm gonna read maybe 1, maybe 2 pages. And again, one song is I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. And the other one is brothers be dynamic. You know what I mean? Sisters too, but this is a podcast strictly for the brothers, biological God brothers. All right, because that's what I like. My children that are not biological, I say God children, or brothers that are not related to me, I say God brothers. So if you hear me say God brothers, that's what I mean. And I'm not talking about the worldly God either. I'm talking about that real God deep in the belly of that soul. Got to be, now got to put emphasis on that, because there's a lot of superficial things out here, a lot of false prophets, and you got to stay away from that kind of stuff. And that's bad. That's danger. Y'all know how I do. All right, now I'm going to read a page from one's book, and then I'm going to play those couple songs. And I might read one more page. Then I'm going to salute you great divine brothers on. Y'all know I be rhyming. I don't be meaning to. I swear I don't. It's just embedded in one's soul. That's what we do when we practice as divine warriors. We just practice. It becomes 7th nature. It's like it's nothing. It's easy, Trying, we do away with trying. We begin to do and know righteously. You know what I'm saying? And teach other brothers, whether younger or older, that they can have that divine warrior power too. All right. Because it's a warrior in all of us. Just let the right thing happen to us, and that warrior will pop out. But again, we got to know when to step back and when to step forward. We got to have a balance in that. That's what will keep us being a powerful force. All right. Now I want to read 1 page, and then I'm gonna get to them songs. So thank those that's been riding along. I appreciate you. May the great divine always be in our life, keep us strong, and keep us prospering. All right, let's go. Leaders and teachers with a student spirit. Page 1 of Solitude Strength. Solitude. And I read this page before, but I don't know how many podcasts ago. Let's go. Solitude is the core strength of our being. Moments that keep our soul intact, and of course, mind and body. It's also when we connect to our divine spirit, deep within, as we all say, to the bottom of the barrel. Thong. I like to do that. This keeps us contained and ready for outside events. Solitude is a place of study and concentration to keep our soul and our outer shell protected especially in these times. We are living in a hyperactive world. Everyone's looking for some kind of attention, whether financial, physical, or spiritual. Take solitude very serious. A time of to reflect, just to stay grounded in reality. As I said, we're living in a time where people are looking for some kind of attention, scam financially. Hatred can come through physically, what I just spoke on. That's why we have to check our behaviors. Don't let people shake us up, rattle us. None of that. We stay in this battle. That's why we have moments of solitude. Again, it's not a selfish thing. It's not staying away. It's not being antisociable. It's keeping what I say all the time, keeping the human body, mind, and soul centered. All right. So now let's get to these couple songs that, I love playing music. And why do I play music, my generals, my brothers? To stimulate the soul and for our chakras. It's good for our chakras, to hear good vibrations, good music, especially when it's got good affirmations in it. And the first one, as I said, is going to be, I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. And this is an affirmation I want us brothers to say to ourselves. Now, I know a lot of us, we got brothers that's already stable and already have been through the battles and at a foundation. But this is just confirmation. If you're listening to my voice, if you're not there, you're somewhat there. You're on your way. And if you're having some kind of struggle, if nothing wrong with you, and you're healthy, keep going. Sometimes things don't come right away. Study patience, study silence, get in solitude, get in our thoughts. As I heard from a great brother, reason with oneself and say to yourself, I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. Be right back. Salute.
I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, I never new to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, not new to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, I never new to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, I never new to this, I'm true to this. EBX, and I always rock, yeah. I straight up from my soul. I lift my family, sisters and bros, and my children, and that's all I see. I want us all in the streets, meant to be free. A mind, body, and soul, stay up on the go, and never stop, yeah. And I said so. A positive power, man, I feel it all up in my brain. We never know what's gonna happen while we on this plane. Yeah, in this life, do things to stay sane. We got no time, meant to be insane, yeah. And stay in our positive lane, yeah. I don't give a damn if it's storm or rain.
I ain't new to this.
I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, I never knew to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, I never knew to this, I'm true to this. EBX. And I say things, man, that keep us moving on. In these songs, in this life, man, we gotta stay strong. We can see, never be weak. Yeah, man, I'm trying to be free and keep on protecting, yeah. And you with me, yeah. And I will drop this kind of stuff all the time. How I do this in my rhyme, I connect to that divine. I get it in my brain and stand up on this ground. And yeah, on this plane, and with this positive sound. I can't stop this, man, I don't see no quitting, man. I ain't new to this, I'm too busy being true to this.
True to this. True to this.
Yeah, I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, I never knew to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, I never knew to this, I'm true to this. EBX,
One.
yeah, I said, yeah,
One.
EBX,
One.
let go, yeah,
One.
let go. I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, I never knew to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. Yeah, I never knew to this, I'm true to this. EBX,
One.
yeah, I said, yeah,
One.
yeah, let go.
Real talk. I'm new to this and true to this. Yeah, real talk, brothers and sisters. Man, Ooh, I love music, man. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. Like I said, that's what I want brothers and sisters too. But again, this is for the brothers. That's what I want my brothers to say to themselves. Young brothers, especially. Especially young brothers. Oh my God, some of these young brothers out here, we got some good ones. Cause I volunteer, so I might not be a major impact in the community, but I tell you what, touching lives out there, brothers and sisters. Again, that's not a pat on the back or nothing, but when we become serious and we see the impact that we give others, whether it's young brother or older brother, it's, man, that's what make it all worth it, and telling you, you never know what that great divine warrior spirit will take us. And then we become a powerful force. And I want us to be dynamic. It's for sisters too, but again, talking to my brothers, be dynamic in this life. Be different than the norm. Be right back.
Brothers and sisters, let's be dynamic, so we transcend. Got to be dynamic, so we can win. Let's be dynamic, we pushing through, and we do what we do, for results. Good things in this life, what we choose, and we see clear, never be confused. You teach me, I teach you. Want us to be happy, never have no blues. Uplift your soul, my sisters and my bro. I want us high and never ever low. Got to be dynamic, woo. So we transcend. It got to be dynamic, so we can win. It got to be dynamic, woo. Transcend and give my family and all good friends who make it to the end. And fuck your religion and give this sin. The spiritual things that's within. We never ever stop, never finish till we go again and again. Don't care about the top, in this life we don't stop. And good righteous deeds is what we keep high and keep looking on. And make sure stay strong, protect the home, and stay in my zone. My great divine, never leave us alone. No. Stay dynamic, so we transcend.
Let go.
Stay dynamic, so we can win. Got to be dynamic, so we transcend. Brothers and sisters, stay dynamic, so we can win. Got to be dynamic, yeah. Gotta be unpredictable in this life, because this life can be unpredictable. So be the guides and the goddesses that we are, and stop playing. Let's transcend, so our generation can win. Got to be dynamic, so we transcend.
Real talk, brothers and sisters. Got to be dynamic, so we transcend. Got to be dynamic, so a youth can win. Real talk, man. That's why we do what we do, so, because I'm telling you, us, our elders, it's like you almost don't want to think about it, but it definitely is. It's a reality. That's why I say we got to connect to reality. Our youth coming up, it's going to be a little challenging for them. I try to be positive, but again, can't be lost in a false sense of reality. Danger. That's why you got a lot of warriors out here. Some already know that they're a warrior, and not just complaining and talking about it, literally being a warrior. Because again, saying and doing is two different things. But again, I volunteer. I'm around children all the time, so I will continue, because again, we get to a warrior status as brothers. We also have to study to maintain, because as we all know, the higher we go up, and I'm talking about spiritual status, not status in life. The higher we go up in that divine status, we already know what's gonna come. So a lot of us are already ready. It's wonderful. Nothing wrong with being ready, and no matter what people say, oh, you paranoid or whatever. But I tell you what, we won't be caught out there bad like we've seen so many celebs do. Those that get caught up in the deception and web of social media and so on and so forth. We know. But my generals that standing firm, whether family, brother in the world, online, we got this. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I'm gonna read one more page in my book for my brothers, God brothers, biological brothers. Remember, I explained who my God brothers are, and of course, my biological. All right, when I say biological, I'm talking about bloodline, cousins, so on and so forth, uncles. You know what I mean? All right, now I'm gonna read one more page. This page 2. You might hear the page turning a little bit. And again, remember what the representation of these two brothers on my banner is. Notice how the brother in the back is looking around, watching the surroundings, making sure he's straight. And the brother standing in front of him don't have a clue. You know what that reminds me of? I hate to bring it up, but I remember a podcast my son and I did on Tupac. Now, we all remember the awards. Remember when Tupac, I'm not trying to, dog on, put no dark cloud over Snoop Dogg. But again, photos say 1,000 words. Now, y'all remember that photo when Tupac was standing at the podium? It was the Grammy Awards. We all remember that photo. And Snoop Dogg was standing behind him. Now, remember that look Snoop Dogg had on his face? Now, I'm telling you, that's what I mean. That behavior within. Because when you got something that's really bothering you in the core of your soul, and you're not aware of it or don't care, or you're not focusing on it, it's going to show on your face. I don't care. It's going to show. It's going to bleed out. You know what I mean? That's a scientific fact. When something is really bothering us or wrong with us deep in our subconscious, it's going to show. It's going to come out one way or another. So I'm saying that to say, I remember that photo, and I always pondered or wondered, what was Snoop Dogg thinking when he had that look on his face and he was standing behind Tupac? And what's really is kind of sad about that is when Tupac was giving his speech at that Grammy, he had no idea he was being stared at that moment like that. So I'm not trying to make nothing out of that. That's just something I always pondered, and kind of other things that were kind of suspicious. But, I try not to get into the whole celeb thing, We step back and just watch it play out. You know what I mean? So, but I'm sure Tupac found out later, because I'm sure somebody told him that he was being looked at behind his back like that. So it was kind of scary though, when you think about it. So this photo on my banner, or this animation, it put me in the mind of that. But the brother, like I said, see how the brother's looking away? He's watching his surroundings and making sure he's straight. And the brother in front of him don't even have a clue. But he don't have to worry about it, because he got trust standing behind him. And that's how brothers need to be. Even if we're not around each other, we got to know the importance of what we harbor deep inside. That's a real thing, because it will bleed out. Even if we haven't met a person, we don't know. We might meet that person. Again, it's just an example, nothing specific. We might meet that person one day, or run into that thing that we did. Life always have a way of coming back around when we least expect it. So that's why we have to just be the warriors and just be a upright human brother off the bat, and then work on the deep spiritual. Let's get that human side of us right. Behaviors and all that stuff, mental health. Make sure we straight, man. Real talk. And then we get to the deep spiritual, and then we'll start to transcend, like that song, and be dynamic, and know why we shouldn't harbor things within ourselves. And if we get any thoughts or feelings or physical pain, anything, pinpoint it, deal with it. But especially behavior problems, because we don't never know if that thing or the person we did bad may come back around. You know what I mean? So that's why we got to be righteous on all fronts and be that divine warrior and be a powerful force. All right, my divine warriors who came in, I'm sure some sisters may have came in, but this is a podcast for my brothers, God brothers, biological. All right, read one more page, and I'm gonna salute you, divine brothers, on to your king, divine warrior, powerful life. Because I know some of you brothers out there living a warrior life, powerful, ain't taking no shit. All right, righteously though, know what I mean? All right, one more page, and I'm gonna salute you, divine warriors, on moments. Okay, solitude, strength, page 2. Moments to ourselves is the great divine greatest gift, because it's the only time we can see deep into our spiritual being. Everyone has a spiritual being inside of us. We just have to take time and be consistent on tapping into that divine world. Get to know our weaknesses, hidden battles, as I was just speaking on, and we will become so powerful. All things wrong will disgust us. We will feel disgusted. You know what I mean? And like toxic direct messages, like I talked about, toxic direct messages, Instagram, just toxic shit we deal with on social media. All right. Toxic direct messages, porn, lusting, you know what I mean? Lusting in general, and many things can come from lusting, attention, hits and clicks. Let's go back to the dopamine. A lot of us are talking about that these days. So you got to be careful of the lusting, especially sexual. That's that hidden core stuff. All right. Okay, what I say? Toxic direct messages. That's that dark messaging when that hidden shit. All right. Toxic dark messages, porn, lusting in general. None of it means shit. It really don't. We have fun and enjoy the pleasures of life, but if it's damaging to our psyche, that's never good at all. You're heading for a road of a path of destruction. It could be in small steps, or as I heard a brother say, increments. It's like a little small increments. It depends on how toxic we are. All right. It's very important what we let into our subconscious. We only get one body, one mind, one soul. So do yourself a favor. Take care of those three very vital senses, mind, body, and soul. And don't forget the psyche, see, hear, and feel. And guess what, brothers and sisters? We'll be a divine warrior and also be a powerful force. I mean, once we get through, like I said, my opinion in theory, I think we can learn a lot by learning about our chakras and going through those 7 chakras. Something about that number 7. Again, that's one of my spiritual numbers. That's my birthday, year I was born. Man, I'm telling you, it's in my social security number, my clock in number. So 7 is my number. You know what I'm saying? We got 7 senses, like I said, mind, body, and soul, see, hear, and feel, psyche, 7 chakras. Something about that 7. And I know in the Bible it say, what is it, 7 sins or whatever, of course. And I'm not trying to get too biblical because I'm not a Christian. I go straight to the source, the great, divine, deep within to the belly of that soul. Then it comes out and radiates off of our skin. That's why we got a lot of brothers, the elders out here that are brothers that look young, because they take care of themselves. We can't just throw around black don't crack. Again, like I always reiterate, we always got to do things to maintain ourselves. So make sure that black don't crack. Be an example to others, whether it's in a small way or a big way. We can be an example right where we are, because I'm connected to some warriors, real talk, brothers I've learned from in my family, brothers I've met along the way, God brothers, biological brothers. So thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX Discussion. Hope you enjoyed what's on my banner and got a good I wanted it to be a representation of a brother having another brother's back, and don't have to worry about looking at them or getting stabbed. And it's a rarity, but there are good brothers out there. You know what I'm saying? So, but I always gotta keep in mind though, even though at some point we gotta learn, if we're healthy, that a lot of brothers especially young brothers mainly, that conditioning folks. Like I say, my young brothers better get their shit together, because the times they're coming into, and my sisters too, my young sisters, for my brothers, but my young sisters in there too. They're coming into a whole totally different time. A lot of our elders did. We fought through our battles. We kind of adapted, and we are those who are aware and study and research and stuff and really serious about being healthy and having clarity. We know what it is, brothers like that think, that think above and beyond their little spaces. We know what it is. And when you really look at it, want to be positive, but we got to be real. It's going to be very challenging. It's going to be challenging for some youngsters going into this new time, because, you just can't willy-nilly do things anymore. You got to it's getting to a point where we got to have some kind of intelligence. You got to be smart in some areas, not about being the smartest person, but you better know something, But thank God and thank that great divine, the real God, that we do have some righteous brothers out there, even if they aren't deeply spiritual. Just a good brother overall. I'll take what I can get, long as one's not hurting themselves or hurting nobody else. And be true to oneself and be able to trust each other as brothers. Again, God brothers, biological brothers, and like my banner here. Brother in front ain't worried about nothing, because he know the brother behind him got his back, and that's what we need to be. And I'll say, I got all my God brothers back and biological. Even I don't comment, you don't hear from me a lot, but guess what? Got a divine spirit, and we gotta be unified, even spiritually. Again, what we harbor inside, always and forever, matters. So salute to my brothers that's doing well, those in the struggle. I call that a great protection of my brothers who haven't found their way. May that great divine come in their life and help them to find their way, and be that powerful force. And always and forever, my brothers, God brothers, biological brothers. I already explained what that means, and keep on being, and at least seek to. If we're not there, keep searching and keep seeking and being that divine warrior. You know what I mean? So it's important, really is. So again, my brothers, biological, God brothers, stay that divine warrior and be a powerful force. Salute.
Please.